Hello, guys, and welcome back to your Friday session. I'm Parker Brown, and I'll be the associate running this session. Of course, for the past few one on one private sessions that we've done, I've been the one running them. And although you may be thinking Parker Brown doesn't know everything about businesses, I am one of the main people who have done a lot of research about this. I mean, other associates have experience in different fields, but just, a reminder, they're going to be doing presentations in the future. It's not just going to be me. And it's really important to just consider the fact that I have more broad research and I have a lot of resources that are helpful. So if you ever really, really want a different associate running these one-on-one sessions, just please feel free to send me an email at businessreadyhelpdesk@gmail.com, or pop a comment down below. Join the Google Classroom and leave a class comment there, and I just be so happy to meet those needs, because of course that's what running a business is all about, and this is kind of like my business. It's my project, it's my dream. So I really appreciate it if you could reach out, and just I could answer any questions that you have. Okay, so I'm going to be um, going over 7 steps to a successful start on Etsy. And the resource I'm using for this, if you want to see it, I will put the link in the description, so check that out. But it's the Seller Handbook. Um, it's on Etsy, it's that whole thing. And I remember in the beginning, I discussed online platforms where you can share your stuff online without having to set up a shop. And oftentimes, Etsy is where a lot of small businesses begin, especially if your business is like handmade arts and crafts. So if you're selling knitted goods, drawn goods, jewelry, handmade jewelry, pottery, all of that, you just want to make sure that you're on the right uh, website, and Etsy's really perfect for that. So I really love how they have a resource for successfully running a good Etsy shop. So I'm going to be going off of that right now, and I would be so grateful if you could check this out too, because, of course, me, Parker Brown, I don't know everything about Etsy. So just pop into that website and see if you can make an account, see if you can get the idea of starting a shop, and who knows what will happen. Maybe Etsy will be the start for your small business. Okay. So, it's really difficult to start an online business because your online presence usually starts out pretty low. But you can make a very manageable and fun experience out of making these shops by following these 7 tips. So, you have to make an online business if you want to have a successful small business. I mean, it's really important. So, number one, you have to gather the essentials. So, assembling, all those building blocks for your new business ahead of time. So, just like try and find a logo, try and find, your aesthetic, like we talked about. So, a quick start checklist is something that you can download, and the link again is at the Seller Handbook to begin preparing everything you need, including photos, item prices, and your bank's routing number. So these are all pretty basic things that you have to do to set up your account in general. But remember, have an idea of what you want before you make your account. I think that'll make things a lot easier. Your second thing is you're going to choose a name. This is important no matter if you're on Etsy or not. Of course, they're saying this, because you have to. You have to have a name to be able to sell. Um, but in general, even if you're not even thinking of going online, having a good, catchy name that relates directly to your product really attracts consumers. So, new sellers often stumble at the very first step of shop owning process, selecting a name. So, you know, maybe your shop name isn't available on Etsy. Maybe it was already taken. Um, you know, who knows? Maybe you just have no idea what your name should be. And maybe we should do an unscripted session all about making a name. Who knows? Just tell me if you want that. But you have to make sure that you like your name, because I don't think you can change it very much. You can change it only once, I believe. So definitely make sure that this is the name that you want, because it would suck to have a name that you hate on an Etsy shop for the rest of the time your business is in there. So, yeah. So then the third step is to set specific and attainable goals. Having massive plans for her, like, um, for your shop could be very overwhelming. You could blind yourself to any possibilities, and, like, you know, you could just be like, okay, I'm going to get 100 buyers and repeating customers, and, like, make it vague and massive. And here they have a quote from Christina Lembo from Frankie and Frankie Designs in St. Petersburg, Florida. And she said, I live in a fantasy world where I want to do everything. Christina says, thinking back to her initial to-do list. In the actual world, I don't have time to do anything. So yeah, just set realistic goals for yourself. This is important no matter if you're on Etsy or not. So again, this is a really great handbook. I really recommend checking it out. So yeah, your fourth tip is to consider keywords. So whenever you're searching online, keywords are the thing that lead you to what you're searching for. So on Etsy, if you are selling, say, a drawing, simple, and it's a drawing of a dragon. You could put in fantasy. You could put in, like, reptile, fire breathing. Like, you know, if someone's looking, in this case, for a dragon themed art product, then all of those, keywords could help them find it. Of course, it's weird and specific and kind of goofy, but definitely key phrases are very important, and they really hammer that in. Props to Etsy for doing that. Product photos are also very important, no matter if you're on Etsy or if you're on another online shop like eBay or Amazon. Professional photographers give such a good finish and amount of professionalism to your product that if a consumer or customer looks upon it, they'll be like, wow, this looks legitimate. I think I'm going to buy, because there are also, so many people who are like, ugh, this is flashy, overwhelming, obviously low quality. I don't trust this seller. Make sure that doesn't happen to you. And of course, on here they have a bunch of links to product shots for Etsy listing and photography tips and all that. And so please, if you're thinking of going on Etsy or honestly any online website, please go to the seller handbook. Again, I'll put it in the description. All right. So think like you're gonna be in person. Think like a brick and mortar store is the sixth tip that they put there. You want to make sure everything's well curated, it goes together, it's aesthetically pleasing. Think that if you were a customer walking into a shop in real life, would this Etsy shop look good? And that's really important. You want everything to look professional and pleasing and really, really nice that relates to your passion. And that's really important. And then, of course, your seventh tip is that done is better than perfect. And I couldn't really agree more. There's a blog post that one of their sellers put, so I'd recommend checking that out as well. Like, obsessing over the tiny details can draw us away from the whole reason we start online. If you wanna sell your a passionate item, if you wanna sell something or write something and you want it to go well, you have to make sure that you have a foundation. And oftentimes an online business is your foundation. So just stop obsessing and start doing. I know that's vague and kind of cliche, but you have to make sure that you aren't focusing on that one color of green that isn't quite right. You can't focus on that one little thread that always hangs off the end of that, coat that I've been working on that I want to sell. Don't focus on those tiny little details. It'll only stray you away from your actual purpose. So yeah, and then in the comments, a bunch of experienced sellers and people are putting down tips, and you can go interact with them too. It's almost like a forum. Etsy really has great resources for that. And at the end of this article, there's a link to starting your Etsy shop. So I think this is a great resource. I'm so glad I stumbled upon it so I could share it with you guys. Again, all credits of this go to Etsy, and I really hope that you enjoy this week's session. Again, this is Parker Brown with Business Ready, helping you help yourself. Thank you so much.